we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks you guys a lot for coming in today. I really appreciate it. I think this is really going to help you a lot in many different ways. But let me start with, I'm super excited to be here, if you can't already tell. And that's because I think this is an incredible moment of actionable science. I'm not just up here throwing fluff at you. This is going to be real science, backed by laboratory studies, backed by research. Everything I'm going to say, you can fact check on your phone while I'm saying it if you want. Call me out if I get it wrong. This is the real deal. We're going to unlock your superpower today. It's going to be your brain. Okay? We're going to unlock your brain. That's my goal today. No physicians, no clinicians, or prescriptions, or subscriptions. Just decisions. Decisions to make a daily lifestyle framework that activates and elevates 3 wonders of human biology that are science proven and science backed to directly supercharge your brain's structure and function. I found this science to work so much and so well for me that I've discovered that I think our entire health and wellness comes down to the structure and function of our brain. If the structure and function of our brain is optimized, every single other aspect of our life is optimized. I've discovered this in the last 2 years, and it's been amazing in my life. So in these 3 wonders, it's one thing to teach you how or what they do. It's another to teach you the timing at which you should activate the wonders throughout the day to really increase your life. So that's what we're going to do today, is not only what are they, but how do you activate and elevate them at certain times of the day to give you what I'm hoping you're going to walk away with today. First of all, first let me say, first and second, there's 3 wonders. The first and second wonders, they combine, they come together to regulate, elevate, and sync up your whole brain and body for optimum daily performance. I can't tell you guys, I'm experiencing energy and clarity, focus, creativity, learning ability, retention, overall cognition, vitality at levels I've never experienced in my 56 years of life. I feel like the guy that I'm dressed as right now, and I shouldn't be feeling this way. Okay? Because science says that in somebody that's in a situation like myself, this should not be happening. Today is the 8-year anniversary of my 3rd day in the critical care unit and my first surgery to repair a pelvis, to put 8 screws and 2 plates into a pelvis and 1 screw into the hip. And then there were many surgeries after that, coming from a motorcycle accident. And I don't want to make this too much about me, but I do want to provide a little background there for some validity and some compelling nature to the message. So, there are all kinds of different types of pain. But there is one category that I live in, which is categorized as high-impact chronic pain. And what high-impact chronic pain is chronic pain that is coming from a structural defect. There is something wrong with you structurally, it's irreparable, and it's sending messages to the pain sensors of the body and the brain. Constantly, chronically, all of the time. So there are all kinds of pain, but it is that high-impact chronic pain that has been science proven to degrade, to shrink, and to lower the functionality of your prefrontal cortex and the gray matter. So many people in a situation like myself, for 8 years, I've had this pain signal going on all the time, and that hits the limbic system, and then what it does is it degrades the prefrontal cortex and the gray matter. Well, all of the things that those 2 parts of the brain are responsible for are on fire in me. It's like the exact opposite is happening to me when it shouldn't be the case. I'm blown away by it. So much so, I was sharing this with one of you when you came in earlier. Real quick, a couple weeks ago, seeing a couple different specialists, a couple different physicians, getting some tests, having some things looked at just to make sure I'm okay. Each one asked me the same question. What do you do to overcome what you do? Each one was blown away by the answer because they understand, because they're physicians, they understand what's going on underneath here. And when they heard what I do, each one was like, oh my gosh, this is the type of stuff that everybody needs to hear, regardless of their circumstances. Everybody needs to hear this. And then about 5 days later, Matthew Thomas from the district reaches out. Doug, you want to present again this year? Oh, there we go. So yeah, let's put that all together, all right? So the first and second wonder, which I'll start with here in a second, once again, regulate, elevate, sync up, optimal daily performance. The third wonder is directly responsible for the maintenance and the growth and the structure and the function of your brain. Cognitive strength beyond belief. Defense against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia in the third wonder. I really think if you guys bring this all in and just apply a little bit of it to your life, this sounds a little over the top, it will change your life. It will elevate your life. I can't believe where I'm at. Let's get started. Okay, so wonder number one, we call it, or I call it, master the cortisol pathway. Science calls it the 24-hour pattern of the episodic secretion of cortisol. Okay? That's a little scientific. I just think of it as a pathway that you master cortisol. And a lot of you, when you hear cortisol, you're thinking, oh, that's the stress hormone. That's the hormone that has a lot of negative health effects for my body. It suppresses my immune system. It causes unwanted belly fat. It causes all kinds of things in my body. Well, that's true and it's not true. That is not what cortisol is in your body for. Now, can you secrete cortisol through chronic stress throughout the day outside of the cortisol pathway? Yes. And if you do that, it will have negative effects on your health. But cortisol is really your best friend. It mobilizes glucose and various energy stores and sends them to the brain and the body for optimal function. That's what cortisol is for. It is not the stress hormone. Yes, it's secreted when you stress out. But if you don't stress out, it's secreted correctly. And when it's secreted correctly, the life effects are beyond belief. And I'm going to teach you about that right now. So, there are 4 phases in the 24-hour pattern of the episodic secretion of cortisol. Okay? There are 4 phases. We're only going to talk about one because it's the important one. It's phase 4. When you guys wake up in the morning, you're not waking up because of anything other than, as long as something didn't disturb you in your room, cortisol. Melatonin is dropping, cortisol is coming in. It's mobilizing glucose and various energy stores and sending them to the brain and the body so that you'll wake up and start your day. That's what cortisol does. And it's being secreted in the last 3 hours of your sleep and the first hour you're awake. It has a 4-hour time span, phase 4 does. It's called the cortisol awakening response period. The cortisol awakening response period. You are waking up as a response to cortisol being secreted from your adrenal glands. Okay? Why is this important? Well, this is the key part. In that first hour that you're awake, the first 60 minutes that you're awake, 30 to 60 minutes depending, you have a chance to spike that cortisol level. So the cortisol is just flowing out of your adrenal glands and it's waking you up. And you can actually spike its level in the first 60 minutes. Once that first 60 minutes of you being awake is gone, the ability to spike it is gone. And you want to spike it. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Okay? So, cortisol works on a bell curve. It comes up and then it really starts rising in hours 6, 7, and 8 of sleep. And that next hour after you're awake, then it peaks. And then the bell drops and then it drops out for the rest of the day. So, if you spike it in the first hour, you will raise the level at which it peaks which will increase the duration at which it lasts throughout the day, increasing your energy, your mood regulation, your clarity, your learning ability, all of the things that come with healthy cortisol. So you want to spike it as high as you can. So right now I'm going to teach you how to spike it. Then I'm going to teach you how to amplify and elongate it. So instead of a curve that goes like this, the curve will go up higher, and then we're going to teach you how to make it go like this. And at the same time of the day, it's still going to hit rock bottom. But instead of going like this and then you exhausted at noon and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, you're going to have energy at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then at 5, your cortisol is going to reach the same level. And it's going to change your life and change your days and give you energy beyond belief. And with energy beyond belief, you can deal with any problem you've got in life with energy beyond belief. And that's where I'm at right now. So there's only one way you can spike it in the first 60 minutes you're awake. And that's expose your retina to sunlight. That's the only way you can spike it. What happens is the full spectrum light of the sun contacts the retina. The retina uses ganglion cells in the eye to communicate to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. That is your circadian clock. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is found in your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus is responsible for the neuronal and hormonal regulation of your body for your day-long functions. This nucleus sits right in the middle of the hypothalamus. It sets your circadian clock. All mammals live on a circadian clock. All mammals live on a circadian clock based on the rising of the sun and the setting of the moon. Your energy, your life, everything sits on that clock. And that clock is the suprachiasmatic nucleus. You have a chance with full spectrum sunlight to isolate a message to that, which isolates a message to the adrenal glands that are already secreting the cortisol to secrete more. And you only have 60 minutes after you awake. If you do something else in those 60 minutes, you missed it. Okay? You only need to be exposed to the sunlight for 5 minutes on a sunny morning, and you want it on that low horizon because there's no UVA and no UVA and no UVB rays in the sun when it's low on the horizon in the morning or the afternoon. Those rays start when the sun rises. So the sun is a very healthy thing when you first wake up or when it's about to go down. Okay? And so you expose it. On a cloudy day, you need 20 minutes. You don't have to look right at the sun. Please don't do that. All you have to do is have it exposed into your eyes, your face, your skin. Okay, so some of you are thinking, it's way too cold outside. I'm not going outside into the sun, because you can't do this through a window. Because if you do it through a window, it's 50 times less effective, because your windows are built to take out the short wavelength, and now it's no longer a full wavelength sun, broad spectrum. So you have to do this with nothing in front. No sunglasses, no windows. It won't work through the windshield of your car. It won't work through a window anywhere near as much as it will if it's straight. Okay? So I wake up, the sun hasn't even risen till about 2.5 hours after I'm awake. So how can I do this? There's one other way. And if you're really interested, you might want to write this down, although the video will be on my YouTube channel and I'll share that with you at the end. But it's a 10,000 lux, L-U-X, 10,000 lux therapy light lamp. Amazon, $50. A 10,000 lux therapy light lamp. I have 3 of them in my house. 1 in the bathroom, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in my bedroom. A 10,000 lux lamp mimics the full spectrum light of the sun. It will work. I do it every morning. I turn on this lamp. I have it on for about 30 minutes. I'm not staring straight at the lamp, although you can, because the light is it's really bright, but it's not that, it doesn't like burn your eyes. At least I haven't found it to. All it has to do is just be reflecting upon you while you're getting your breakfast ready or doing whatever you're doing. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't know about this, and as soon as I bought the lamp, I started experiencing the effects the next day. Within 2 to 3 weeks, unbelievable. What this exposure, the level of energy that I have. I used to just start going around 1 o'clock. I don't start going till about 4 now. It is beautiful to get to 4 o'clock. This isn't costing me anything. It's nature. Well, it did cost me the $50 for the lamp. But if I was doing the sun, it wouldn't be costing me anything. And the sun is really what you want. Remember, the lamp mimics it. It's not as powerful as the sun. And we're about to start having the sun coming up early in the morning here in a couple days. So you're going to be able to get that sunlight. Okay, just remember, not through the windows. Okay, so you've just risen your cortisol. Now it's ready to start this path better for you. And you're going to have all of that energy and all of that greatness that comes with it throughout the day. Well, how can you amplify or elongate that cortisol? There's 4 things you can do. The first one, most of you are not going to want to do. I did not want to do it. I fought against it until I did it. And I've done it every day now for 7 weeks. I don't even know what a warm shower feels like anymore. I only take cold showers. So here's what happens when you take a cold shower. You have a cascade flush of catecholamines. Catecholamines are secreted from your adrenal glands. So you have cortisol pumping out of your adrenal glands right now. Now you throw in dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine from the cold shower, and you stack that on top of the cortisol. It's like a wave that hits you. It's unbelievable. I get out of this freezing cold shower, and I'm so into it now that I make it even worse. I have the window open in the shower, and that's pretty cold. And then I keep the door open, and then I stand there dripping wet, just shivering, dripping wet, doing breathing, calming myself, dripping, shivering. And then I get calm, and then I start. It's unbelievable, you guys. Look it up, cold showers. Now, if you're going to do a cold shower, you only have to do it at the very end of your warm shower. So you can do your warm shower and then do anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute of cold to finish. But don't go back to warm. Okay? You got to get out with the cold. Now, I'm so over the top with this now, I don't even turn it on. I just get right into the cold shower. And I do anywhere from 2 minutes to 5. And I'm just shivering the whole time. And I see it as like this challenge. Like, can I breathe through this? Can I actually stop the shivers while the cold water's coming over the top of me? And this game I play now, it's kind of psycho, but it's really, really helped me amazingly. Circulation, metabolism, energy, mood, clarity. I've just cranked up my cortisol. I've just cranked up my catecholamines. I'm ready to kill the day. Next thing, caffeine. If you're a caffeine drinker, that's a good thing for what I'm trying to sell today, all of this energy that's science related. But here's the hard part. Your caffeine should not be ingested until you've been awake for 90 minutes. If you can delay the caffeine intake for 90 minutes after you wake, now you are going to amplify and elongate the catecholamines and the cortisol, stretching the energy out, stretching everything you want in your life out. If you drink your coffee right away, it offsets a lot of what I'm trying to have you do. Try to wait 90 minutes for your caffeine. It's not that hard. If you get up and you're focused right away on the sun or a light, and then you're focused on a cold shower, and one other thing I'm going to say, by the time you're done with all that and you've gotten everything ready, an hour's gone by. Just wait 30 more minutes and get your coffee at 90 minutes. I was drinking my coffee right away, then I learned the whole 90 minutes to 120 minute thing. Oh my gosh, like it really works, guys. Trust me, test it. Another thing you can do, exercise in the morning. A lot of you don't want to exercise in the morning, but exercise in the morning releases the catecholamines and helps with the norepinephrine, the dopamine. Remember, dopamine is the main motivator of a human being. Dopamine is your motivation. By taking a cold shower, you're releasing dopamine on top of cortisol. Oh my gosh. Like everything that bothered you doesn't bother you anymore. Everything that hurts doesn't hurt anymore. Or if it does, you can deal with it because, I mean, you feel like Superman. Okay, the last thing that you can do to upgrade it, and you should be doing every morning, and most of you aren't. So, the Institute for Health says that 75% of the people sitting in this room are chronically dehydrated. 75% of America is chronically dehydrated. The very first thing you should do in the morning is drink water. Minimum 16 ounces. Before you drink or eat anything else or do anything else. Minimum 16 ounces. 75% of the volume of the human brain is water. 75% of your brain is water. Science has proven, check Google now if you want, even a 3% drop in that 75% starts measurable cognitive decline. You're waking up dehydrated. If you don't hydrate right away, you're in cognitive deficit. Now, if you don't hydrate for 2 hours and you have coffee before that, which dehydrates, hello, people. This isn't that hard. Drink some water. Chronic dehydration has been proven in science to actually shrink your brain. Your brain actually shrinks. Dehydration. 75% of America is chronically dehydrated. Why do we have a mental health crisis in America? People aren't drinking water. It's the oil to the engine that is your brain. You can't run an engine without oil. You can't run a brain without water. So let's review before we move on to number 2. Cortisol. It's not that bad. Unless it's coming from you because you're a chronic stressor. If that's the case, well, that's a whole nother speech for a whole nother time. But if you got stress under control, make it your best friend. Spike it in the first 60 minutes you're awake with viewing either the 10,000 lux lamp or the sunlight. Drink water while you're doing that, 16 to 32 ounces. I drink, honestly, 80 ounces. I just, when they got the lamp there. and then, I'm not joking, that's actually really what, the lamp's right there and I'm just like, drinking water, and then I go right to the cold shower. I've hydrated, I've spiked cortisol, I've spiked catecholamines. There's nothing that can get me that day. There's nothing that can get me. It's on. And then I have my coffee. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so here's the real kicker in the deal. Spiking your cortisol sets the timer for wonder number 2. So it's not just about energy. It's about setting up wonder number 2. Wonder number 2 is, wonder number 1 was master the cortisol pathway. Wonder number 2 is master the glymphatic response. What did he just say? You have a system in your body that's married to your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is the drainage network of your body. In 2012, it was discovered there's a glymphatic system. Science thought until 2012 there wasn't a drainage network for the brain. And just recently, they discovered there's a glymphatic system that drains the toxins and metabolic waste from your brain. Just like the lymphatic system drains the toxins and metabolic waste from here down, the glymphatic system drains it from here. You have to master your glymphatic response. If you don't, your brain is a wasteland of metabolic waste and toxic waste. You have to master this if you want the structure and the function of your brain to be operating at its highest level. It's so important. This is the coolest thing. Here's what happens. When you go to sleep, your brain cells shrink. They shrink by 60%. The synapses shrink by 20%. What this does is it creates these wide channels in your brain that don't exist at any other time in the day except for when you're in deep sleep. Okay? The glymphatic system takes cerebral spinal fluid and flushes it through the channels while you're in deep sleep. It's like a power washing of your brain. It's like driving your car into the car wash and it coming out clean. It's driving your brain into the car wash and it coming out clean. I think it is so cool that then when you get into last hours of sleep, the cells expand back to their normal place, closing down those channels for normal operation. You must master this glymphatic response so that that cerebral spinal fluid can swim around in there and power wash your brain so that you're ready to be maximized the next day. Okay? Well, spiking your cortisol in the morning helps that. And we'll talk about that right now. So, first of all, good sleep equals good glymphatic response. Good glymphatic response equals outstanding brain structure and function. Outstanding brain structure and function equals outstanding life. It's really not that hard. It's an incredible, you didn't know you were going to get some cross-curriculum math in here today. But here's the other thing on that too. Amyloids. Amyloid plaque is the biggest reason for dementia, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's. The glymphatic system flushes amyloids out of the channels in the middle of the night. You are going to defend against the neurodegenerative diseases that are plaguing the elderly in this country by mastering your glymphatic response every night. You're going to get rid of the amyloids, and then they won't have a chance to build up into plaque. Okay? So, what you did by spiking your cortisol is you set the course for its antagonistic enemy, melatonin. Cortisol is the energy hormone. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. The two can't exist in the body at the same time. So that's what I find to be...
If you are parked in the admin building driveway, we will need you to move your car. Food trucks are not able to access the campus.
Oh, how embarrassing. And that's on my video for all of YouTube to watch right now. So anyways, melatonin, the sleep hormone, cortisol, the energy hormone, they're antagonistic of each other. When one is high, the other is low. That's how it works. Spike cortisol as high as you can, you'll drop it as low as it can, you'll open the door for melatonin. It's amazing how melatonin plays right off of it. And you guys, melatonin is also an antioxidant that fights the free radicals that cause cancer. It's also a detoxifier, and it also repairs your DNA. You want melatonin, and you're going to get more of it, and you're going to get more sleep, and you're going to get a better glymphatic response if you spike your cortisol in the morning, because you just set the timer for melatonin to come in perfectly. Okay? Here's your evening protocol. 2, flush cortisol out of your body and bring melatonin in. Evening means after 5 o'clock. Here's your evening protocol. 1, view the sunset if you can. Because the broad spectrum light that comes at the end of the day when it's low on the horizon prepares the body and defends it against the artificial light that it's going to be faced with until you go to bed. View the sunset if you can. It's awesome. It really tricks the brain and defends against what is your enemy, artificial light that's coming your way until you go to bed. Artificial light is your enemy of melatonin. Okay? You want the least amount of artificial light as possible in the evening. So, turn off all overhead lights. Any overhead light you have in your house, because what stimulates cortisol is a light that comes in your upper visual field. So if light is coming in from above you into your upper visual field, you are stimulating cortisol. You stimulate cortisol, you suppress melatonin. You suppress melatonin, you don't sleep well. You don't sleep well, your lymphatic response is poor. Your brain wakes up really groggy. No overhead lights. Plus, most of your overhead lights are LEDs, which are short waves with spiked cortisol. Okay? By the way, one of the reasons for depression and anxiety in this country was when Congress passed a law in 2007 to go to short wavelength lights, LED lights, because they're more effective for the environment, and get rid of incandescent lights, which have a more full wide spectrum. And people are viewing LED short wavelength lights in their house, in their hotels, in their restaurants, everywhere. And they didn't used to view that, and they don't know that that's causing cortisol spikes, which is decreasing melatonin, and then they don't wonder why they can't go to sleep. And then they have depression the next morning because the brain didn't clean, and they're confused and they have brain fog. 2007, Congress messed us up. So, turn off your overhead lights. All your lights that are on the table, dim them as low as you can, and buy incandescent bulbs, the old school bulbs that we all grew up with. Those incandescent bulbs, they mimic more so a continuous light frame, and they don't have the blue light, which is the stimulator of cortisol and the suppressor of melatonin. So all my lamps in my house have the old school incandescent light bulbs. All the ones above have the LEDs, but I turn those off, and I only use table lamps, and they're incandescent, so they don't suppress melatonin. Okay? Really important. Avoid all short wavelength lights. Guys, it only takes 8 lux, L-U-X, 8 lux to suppress melatonin. Your phone is 30 lux. 8 lux to suppress melatonin. Your phone is 30 lux. If you view your phone in full capacity after 5 o'clock, you are suppressing melatonin. Or your computer, or your tablet, or your e-reader, or whatever it is. Okay? All of those things are short wavelength lights that put out 30 lux. Anything over 8 suppresses melatonin, and you wonder why you can't go to sleep. Okay? The other thing that's really key, this is really key because some of you are doing this, and think about all our teenagers that we teach. They're doing this every night, and then they wake up all foggy and confused and stressed out and depressed. If you view short wavelength light between 11 a.m. and 4 a.m., you will activate a part of your brain called the habenula. When the habenula is activated between 11 a.m. and 4 a.m., dopamine is suppressed. You will have less of a reserve of dopamine to tap into that next day if you view short wavelength light between 11 a.m. and 4 a.m. Dopamine is the primary motivator. Why are all our kids unmotivated? They're on their phones at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then they're wondering why they're exhausted the next day. Well, I hate to say it, but a lot of you are probably on your phones and your computers. By the way, those of you who like to fall asleep in front of your television is emitting short wavelength light at more than 30 lux. You are suppressing melatonin, even if your eyes are closed. Even if your eyes are closed, fact check me online. If your eyes are closed and there is a light in your room penetrating your eyelids, you're suppressing melatonin. You want your room to be as dark and as cool and as quiet as possible so that you can get your best night of sleep, so that you can up your lymphatic response. One more thing in the evening. Diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing from your diaphragm. Pushing the belly out, not breathing from your chest like 99% of you are doing right now. Breathing from your diaphragm, pushing the belly out. Here's what happens. We're going to go back to the lymphatic system now. The lymphatic system is the drainage network of your body. Okay? The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. The circulatory system has a pump, the heart. The lymphatic system can't move lymph on its own. It doesn't have a pump. When you can pump it through massage and movement. So movement pumps it, massage pumps it. By the way, movement, most kids just sitting around all the time, not moving their bodies, well, most humans nowadays. But when you expand your diaphragm, you contract your thoracic duct. When you contract and expand your thoracic duct, it's the largest lymph vessel in the body. Every time you expand your diaphragm and breathe out and breathe back in, your thoracic duct is going like this, and it's increasing the flow of lymph in your body by up to 50%. You are increasing the drainage of the metabolic waste and toxins in your body from the neck down by up to 50% more just by breathing with your belly. Do that at night while you're relaxing with your incandescent bulbs and no phone, no tablet, no computer, chilling, some deep breathing, lymph moving around, cleaning the body, and then you're about to go to bed and clean the brain, and then you're going to wake up, and then you're going to spike your cortisol and take a cold shower and drink your coffee 90 minutes after and drink water. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's changed my entire life. It's changed my entire life. And I guarantee you, it'll change yours too if you do it. I promise you. And you don't have to do all this. Do some of it. Take the cold shower. Buy the lamp from Amazon. You can have it by tomorrow if you're a Prime member. No, I don't work for Amazon. But you could start this tomorrow morning. I turn it on in my room, then it's on in my bathroom, and then it's on in my kitchen. So I'm going like 10,000 walks everywhere. It's pretty cool. Okay, wonder number 3, our last one, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. You have a protein molecule in your human biology. I call it the magic molecule. It's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. It is a tiny protein molecule that packs the most powerful punch of anything in your entire biology. It is referred to as the fertilizer of the brain. BDNF is the fertilizer of the brain. The higher levels you have of BDNF, the more fertilizer your brain gets, the higher its structure and function. BDNF is so important that low levels of it are directly tied in science to impaired learning, accelerated aging, sleep disorders, obesity, anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. Low levels of BDNF are tied directly to those by science. High levels, it's directly tied to by science, elevated overall cognition, increased memory, learning, and higher level thinking, emotional regulation. God forbid we'd be mentally, emotionally balanced. Clarity, stress control, that's when cortisol is not good, and ultimately resilience. It's formed in your endoplasmic reticulum, and it's prevalent in your hippocampus and your cerebral cortex. That's where BDNF lives. That's where BDNF fertilizes. That's where BDNF increases the structure and the function of your brain and gives you all of those wonderful things. Well, here's the killer part of this. BDNF levels are directly predicated on lifestyle choices. We all have a baseline. The decisions we make each day either decrease our BDNF, and we get everything that comes with that, or increases our BDNF, and we get everything that comes with that. The things that decrease BDNF, science proven, there are 6 of them. Processed sugar, ultra-processed foods, okay, anything fried, okay, chronic stress, stressing all the time, because cortisol actually decreases BDNF when secreted outside of its pathway, which I've already taught you when to secrete it. Sedentary lifestyle, chronic inflammation, and wait for it, poor sleep. The lifestyle choices that science has proven increase BDNF. Uh-oh, here we go. Number one, sunlight. Now we're going all the way back to wonder number one. We're spiking cortisol by the sunlight, and we're increasing BDNF and everything that comes with BDNF. Then we throw a cold shower on there, some caffeine, maybe some exercise, and some water. Oh my God, you guys. Second one, cold exposure. Cold shower, hello. I waited till the end to tell you there was one more thing a cold shower would do for you. It increases your BDNF levels, which increases the fertilizer to your brain, which increases your structure and functional brain capacity. Third one, deep sleep. Hello, back to wonder number two, the glymphatic response. Fourth one, we just talked about it, controlled diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing from your belly increases BDNF because it increases the flushing of all the toxins that lower BDNF. Aerobic exercise, really good aerobic exercise. Like we're talking intense exercise, that will raise BDNF by 60%. So if you're an exerciser, good for you. Get on the aerobic part of it. And intermittent fasting, 16 hours or more, increases BDNF. Okay? So we're tying it all back. But last thing, you can actually increase it through your foods. Here are the 6 nutrients that increase BDNF. Omega-3s, magnesium, zinc, niacin, resveratrol, and flavonoids. Those 6 things all increase BDNF. I want to say it again. I had a couple people writing it down. Omega-3s, magnesium, zinc, niacin, resveratrol, and flavonoids. Those 6 nutrients, scientifically proven, not Fairchild just throwing fluff out there, scientifically proven to increase BDNF in your body. What I eat as a staple of my diet that includes those things, any dark berry, all dark berries include those things. All grapes that are red include those things. Not green grapes, red grapes. The number one BDNF food that you can eat, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds shoot BDNF up in your body. I eat pumpkin seeds every single morning while slamming water in front of my lamp. Every single morning. It's so true. Another one, nuts, especially walnuts. But almonds, cashews, and peanuts also increase BDNF. But walnuts are number one. Salmon and tuna. And my favorite one, dark chocolate. 87% or more though. You'll see, if you don't know what I'm saying, when you're in the grocery store, you'll see all the dark chocolate and you'll see it as percentage rankings. The percentage of cacao has to be 87% or more to increase BDNF. That's pretty bitter dark chocolate. I've grown to love it. It's really, really good. So I love my dark chocolate around 2 o'clock every day, just before 7th period. Yeah, it's good. Supplements that also increase BDNF. Turmeric, lion's mane mushroom, flaxseed, coconut oil, and magnesium. Supplements. Turmeric, lion's mane mushroom, flaxseed, coconut oil, and magnesium. And drinks that increase BDNF. Matcha tea, green tea, and black coffee. Not the coffee you're drinking, black coffee. Because remember, processed sugar decreases BDNF. Black coffee increases BDNF. Put your processed sugar in your coffee, you're actually negating BDNF. Drink black coffee, okay? That's the only way to drink it. So, quick little summary. and then we're going to wrap it up. Master your cortisol pathway. Crank up that cortisol in the morning the way I said. The video will be on my YouTube channel. If anybody wants to email me after this, I'll send you a link to this video. I'm going to upload it tonight. It'll be ready to go tomorrow. Everything that I've said in here will be there for you. Master your lymphatic response and increase your levels of BDNF. And if you do, you're going to go to a place that you've never been before. And I hope you'll let me know that you've gotten there, because I'd love to share in it with you. I want to close with one quick thing, something that totally changed my life. There's a guy out there, some of you have probably heard of him, his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he has a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. When Dr. Joe Dispenza said to me, well, he was saying it to me, when he said, where you place your attention is where you place your energy, that blew my mind. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Everything you speak about, think about, and react to directly causes the energy in you. That's where all your energy comes from. How simple can life be when you know that? If you don't like the energy that's happening within you, then stop thinking about, talking about, and reacting to whatever's causing that energy. Change your attention and you'll change your energy. So the last thing I would say today is your attention should be on the present moment. Because if your attention is on the past, you open yourself up to depression. If your attention is on the future, you open yourself up to anxiety. If your attention is on the now and the 3 biological wonders I just presented, all you'll get is peace, calm, clarity, resilience, and inner strength. Thank you for coming, guys. Thank you. So if any of you guys have questions or comments or concerns, you can ask me now, or you can come up, or you can email me. If you liked this and you want the video, email me. I'll respond with my YouTube channel as well as the video. I really appreciate you guys coming in. I really hope that I helped you a little bit with your life. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. All right.
Good job, fair job.